Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up?
Yeah,
like
talk
long
about
walks
yourself.
on the bee.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces. The most romantic.
It leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all of the zodiac.
Oh,
If you couldn't tell by my voice already.
oh,
Sexy.
But I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it.
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Terry Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
Welcome back to another edition of your favorite Celtics podcast, the Causeway Street Podcast. Jam-packed episode for you guys because the Celtics got smoked.
That's how we're gonna lead off.
That's an understatement.
That's
Celtics got
why
spanked.
you got Marcus Morris going to miss extended time.
Not good.
And we have a guest. So obviously, whenever we have a guest, it's going to probably be a 2-hour show. But stay tuned because there's plenty to listen to between Josue Pavone, which is me, Joel Pavone right next to me, and Sean Dutra across from me.
Not Dean.
With a stylish sweatshirt on.
See this right here? This should not
Somebody's
say
ready
Dean.
for the holidays.
This should not say Dean right here. All right. And yeah, check out the sweater, man. Ready for Christmas, all festive.
Dean Dutra is looking festive. But
Celtic style.
Celtic style. baby.
yeah, Celtic style. But you know, what the Celtics did in Chicago was something that I obviously
Not Celtic style.
didn't
Pitiful.
see coming. I mean, with or without Kyrie Irving, don't think you're supposed to get spanked by the Bulls the way they did. And
Nwamba killing us.
throughout this tough stretch, I mean,
Porters.
Whoever the fuck that guy is.
Nicola.
we're talking about the toughest stretch of the regular season. 12 games in 18 days. Now it's down to 10 games in 15 days. Fellas, does this loss against the Bulls make you concerned about moving forward, about this tough stretch, about the fact that they'll be playing without Marcus Morris? Or do you think that's just sort of them just dropping the ball? Sean, you talked about last episode, that crazy commute from Dallas to Detroit to Chicago.
No, San Antonio.
In the span of 3 games. San Antonio is where it started, the other Texas city. I was thinking Texas.
You got this, bro. You'll be there.
Texas,
You'll get there someday.
Texas, Michigan, all the way to Chicago.
I actually.
Illinois.
The next day when I realized, I said it, I actually Googled, like, distance between San Antonio
Did you
and
check the
Detroit.
miles?
Yeah.
Did you check how many miles they were doing?
It was a lot of miles. It was thousands of miles.
So is that why they lost?
Okay, so I think
Maybe that's one reason. I think there's a lot more to it.
we can blame a lot on the schedule, and the second half of the season has to be cake for the Celtics because I feel like we've played the most games in the league right now.
This month is going to be brutal.
Yeah, it
It is so far.
I don't know. I guess you can't blame the schedule. What you need to look at is the fact that the Celtics aren't playing the way they were on that 16-game win streak. They're not having the ball bounce the same way. They're playing a different style. They're being way too dependent on, I mean, even though they were dependent on Kyrie Irving, they still were playing better team basketball. I think ever since the Miami game, when the streak broke, I think they've started to change the type of basketball that they're playing. They're being way too reliant upon, someone to save them. Everyone's looking for everyone else to save them in that team.
Well, I think Chicago did a good job defensively and forcing the Celtics to take shots. I think they did their homework when it came to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They know what they can do. They know about their athleticism. They limited them to being strictly shooters. And I think Fred Hoiberg said, you know what? If they're going to beat us from behind the arc or from outside shots, then so be it.
Right.
Bobby Portis obviously went off.
But I mean,
Nico Mirotic got going, of course. And I just feel like they never retaliated from that. They never found that offensive rhythm, and they were always a step behind on both ends of the floor.
Well, I think the Celtics are lost offensively without Kyrie Irving. That's what we realized.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing at all. It's not a good thing at all.
It goes back to what we've said, for the last couple of episodes. The Celtics need a second go-to guy when Kyrie's off.
We've been saying that.
He's having an off night, or he's just not playing at all.
So is it time? What do you say, Joel? What are we doing? We got to go out and get that guy.
I think it's time for the Celtics to consider, adding another piece. They not necessarily have to use that 8.4 exception, the disabled player exception,
Why not?
because they still have the extra roster spot open.
Yeah, I'm saying
I mean, go out and get someone, so you don't have to necessarily use that 8.4. But if you're able to get somebody for for less, I don't know who's out there right now. What do you think?
Well,
Lou Williams.
all right, let's
Louis.
let's rewind for a second. All right. Well, first of all, I just have to mention the fact that, of course, we do have a guest. His name is Art Rondo. He's actually going to talk to us about Gordon Hayward. He wrote an article about the recovery process. Says in long term, it's going to do more harm than good, and we'll get into what he meant by that when he joins us. But yeah, you know what? I mean, obviously, the fact that they have that exception obviously is something that everyone's thinking about. The fact Marcus Morris is going to miss probably 2 to 4 weeks. If I had to pinpoint a timetable for him, I think that's what we're dealing with here.
The rest of the year.
So
the rest of December.
So, Joe, I hear you with that. I think the Celtics obviously could use some help, but at the same time, don't you think that this is Brad Stevens sort of reaching to his bench here at this moment, getting everyone involved, making sure that everyone feels important when it comes to, hey, one man goes down, it's time for you guys to step up. And in particular, my guy, who I think could definitely step up, and I was really surprised that he didn't get a lot of playing time in Chicago.
Who, Nader?
Is Daniel Tice. No, not Nader. No.
Nader got way too much playing time.
No, he got garbage time.
I
I don't mind him playing garbage time.
He played in the first
Yeah,
half.
but for the most part, though, it was garbage time. I don't mind that. Daniel Tice, I felt like could have been a factor on the defensive end when it came to guarding the perimeter. Bobby Portis. Those type of players that can stretch you out all the way out to the arc.
Meritage.
I think he's fit for those type of guys. Meritage. I mean, he's shown that he has the quickness to stay with those guys. He has the footwork to stay with them. I mean, they're not necessarily going to like blow past you. However, I think right now is the perfect time for him to grab some of those minutes from Marcus Morris, contribute off the bench. We know he's a solid rebounder. I mean, he's going to give you that night in and night out. I was just really surprised by the fact that Brad Stevens didn't play him for at least 10, 11 minutes throughout that stretch.
Well, I think people forget, like you just said, Daniel Tice was whether it's the German league or whatever, he was the defensive player of the year, the best defensive player last year in the German league. So that's huge. So I think to your point, he should be able to defend these guys that maybe are bigger, like a Mirotic, like a stretch four, and be able to.
Tough guy. He's a tough guy, man. He's a tough German.
Yeah, so I think Tice should definitely get more minutes. But I think the bigger point here is coming back to Joel's point about the Celtics need to go out and add somebody. And to your point where Brad Stevens needs to see what's in his bench, those are all related. Right now, I think it's a very big time for the Celtics to say, what do we have here? What is this? Okay, we know when Kyrie's on, when Al's on, when Tatum and Brown are on,
how deep
are the
Celtics?
We're one of the most unstoppable teams in the NBA. But what do we have in Rozier? What is Rozier really going to show? What is Semi Ojeleye? Is he a contributor on this team, or is he just a guy that's going to play some garbage time minutes? You know what I mean?
Is Marcus Smart going to find some consistency?
Yeah.
I mean, all these questions.
You're looking at that bench.
They should be answered within the next week or so, right?
Yeah, you're going to figure out the bench, which then will go to Joel's point and say, all right, let's fucking
try out another body.
Let's go and try to go take somebody off a garbage team who can contribute minutes. A veteran that's going to be able to come in, but. This is Brad Stevens' plan right now. He's playing it. Not to say that Brad Stevens rules the universe and that loss was a scheduled loss, but Brad Stevens was very happy after that loss.
Yeah, he's not.
He was very happy.
He's not losing any sleep over it.
He's like, told you guys you weren't as good. That's what he's saying.
What about the two-way contract guys? Allen and
that's what I mean. They don't matter. They don't matter. I don't think
have a good time in Maine. Portland's nice.
You know what I mean. Like I don't think they matter.
No.
If you haven't already, try the clam chowder.
I'm saying no. They called them in. Brad Stevens called them in for a reason. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's because they have two-way contracts. He called them in. You know what I mean? There's a reason why they haven't filled that roster spot and really.
No, they called him. He called them in because I heard him say it. There's gonna be games where people are injured. You need all the bodies you can get in this stretch.
Yeah, you need warm bodies to be on the bench. I don't know. I don't really care about Kadeem Allen and Jabari Bird. Is those the two?
Yes, those are the guys.
Is Nader on a two-way contract, or is he
no,
just?
He's not. He's on a regular contract.
That's ridiculous.
What do you
cut
mean?
his ass soon?
G League MVP.
Doubt it. You know who I was disappointed in though in that loss.
Fact.
We're all saying this was a Marcus Smart game or this was. This was fake news, bro. Nader was never an MVP of anything.
You heard it here first.
Drop the beat. No. Shane Larkin disappointed in that game as well. If he's going to be that veteran, he's the only veteran we have on that bench.
Oh, the
right?
guy who hasn't played in 3-4 games.
I'm just saying, if that's why he's on the team to be, that guy off the bench, then maybe you have to relook at the roster. So, the top part of the roster, in my eyes, is set. It's good. It's golden. When Marcus Morris is back, which I think will be a little bit of a hit on the Celtics team over the next 15 days. As you said, as they play 10 games, 15 games, which is 10 games, 15 days, which is ridiculous. Marcus Morris is huge because he picks you up offensively in certain parts of the game where it seems like things may be going wrong. But I think the bigger picture is, what do you have on this bench? Is this bench is there anyone that you can consistently rely on to take over games on this bench? The answer right now is no.
No, he was that guy. Which
he was.
I talked about before. I loved the starting five with Aaron Baines in it. Him coming off the bench, and I feel like his presence alone.
Talking about Morris.
Morris, right? Marcus Morris. I feel like Marcus Morris's presence alone off the bench carries that momentum that the starters start off.
Sure.
And then you have guys like Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier coming into their own. Heck, I mean, even Ojale would make defensive stops. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like,
but they all fed off
they fed off his presence.
Yeah, like if Kyrie's not playing or Al Horford's not playing, which obviously Al's not playing tonight. Where's the offense coming from? Who's going to step up? Because
he's been Stevenson's most consistent guy off the bench when he comes off the bench, of course.
So it's going to be interesting to see over the next 15 days.
Is this going to be something that we'll be talking about all season, though? Are we going to be concerned if Marcus Morris is going to play night in and night out down the stretch of the season? You know what I mean? Like, because if that's the case, I mean, how much did the Celtics really get for trading Avery Bradley?
Well,
right?
I mean, if you get an injury-prone Marcus Morris for 2 years, I don't know. I don't think Marcus Morris.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that was my favorite part of the deal.
Right.
That this wouldn't be a 1 year rental.
Right.
It's 2 years. You had that second year.
Right. So I think you're seeing a lot stemming from off-season, out of shape. They say it's a nagging injury, right? It's just something that he can play with, but it's not going away. So right now we have the best record in the East. Let's rest him now instead of waiting until he does tear something or he does pull something.
I think the biggest concern is what he had to say about it, though.
Yeah.
He's saying that he feels something different now. He wants to get it reevaluated, and we'll see with the Celtics training staff how they respond to it. But Joel, what's your take on Marcus Morris? Do you think the Celtics have to just go out and get a guy right now? Is that what you mean by that, or what you said earlier?
Something that they need to look into.
Do you think they'll eventually do that though?
Yeah, I mean, let's see how this next stretch goes. But we should have a better idea of, like Sean said, what the Celtics have off the bench when it comes to their depth. We don't know how long Kyrie Irving might be. He might be in and out in this stretch. This quad may not be. Hopefully, it's not a lingering injury, but if it is, then you got to start moving some pieces around. Who's going to be your starting point guard? Who's going to, like you said, you brought up Shane Larkin. Like, Shane Larkin's going to play big minutes now. Terry Rozier's got to play, step up. Marcus Smart, et cetera, et cetera. It goes down the line. So, I say by the end of December, the Celtics should have a better idea of, is this a team that we're going to have moving forward, or do we need to add a piece or two?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Right now is when you're going to figure out your bench, and you're going to figure out what you have, which I think is a good thing this early in the season.
You got Houston at the end of this little stretch.
Don't look now, Cleveland is on the other end of that New Year.
I think you're looking at that December 28th game against Houston as like, we need to figure out all our shit by that game, because at that point,
that's a measuring stick of where this team's at.
It's huge. I mean, even if you go by Christmas Day, right? You go to Christmas Day, big game against the Wizards, right?
Right. First time they're gonna be playing against the Wizards.
That's what I mean.
Big game.
Well, I mean, still,
come on.
Huge game.
It's a big game.
It just lost to the Nets.
Game.
Like, okay, yeah, it's a huge game.
Hey, don't sleep on those Nets.
Under 500 team, yeah, it's a huge game.
Hey. Whoa, but the Pistons is a huge game, right? Oh, that team that's lost like 14 straight now.
Hey, that team that beat the Celtics.
At that time, they were 3 games behind the Celtics.
You know what?
At that time.
You know what?
And now they've fallen off. The Celtics brought them back to reality in that last win.
At one time,
I think before that, because they were on a 5-game skid before that.
Yeah. But also too, concern about Marcus Morris. Didn't want to be a 6-man.
Sean's just now thinking about it. He's like, now I'm a little worried about it.
Didn't want to be a 6-man. Had some things to say about being a 6-man.
No, but
all of a sudden, now that he's a 6-man, his D's not ready to play.
Oh, you call him foul?
He can't play because he's the 6th man. And I love Marcus Morris. You know me.
You saying Marcus is crying wolf?
I think he's the Martellus Bennett of the Celtics right now. He's turning into a guy that's like, yeah, I'm ready to play unless it's not a perfect situation. I'm sixth man. You know, I was ready to play as a starter.
No, you know what?
But now this is nagging.
I don't think it's that. You know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that he doesn't finish games. Stevens tends to go with Marcus Smart.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's never going to finish games over Marcus Smart.
Well, that's a problem in his eyes.
Well,
I think it's going to take some adjusting to it, but I also think that it is his health. I don't think he's all the way there.
I think he needs to know that, you know, if this is more of a moral defeat in his eyes and he's, you know, butthurt about the demotion, not a demotion, but the move to the bench.
It's not a move to the bench. He's going to start some games.
Right.
And the 16 games that he's played, he started with 11 of
them.
But
that's what that.
Yeah, but whether he starts or doesn't start, he's just not going to finish games. I think that might bother.
He's only played. He missed the first 10 days of the season. Like he's missed a lot of games.
I would agree more with them being upset about not finishing games,
but
starting games.
But he can't be mad at anything right now because he hasn't played enough to be in this lineup.
How about he just has a legit injury that he doesn't want to sit and just recover from? He wants to keep playing on it.
Could be. But yeah. I think that Celtics really use Marcus Morris right now coming off the bench, and maybe he doesn't like that.
All right, well, when does the other Marcus start getting some of the spotlight in terms of getting some of the blame here? Because that train is never late.
You don't blame Marcus Smart.
That train's never late, man.
You don't blame Marcus Smart for anything.
No?
Nah.
If this bench can't produce and he's not being one of the top scorers off the bench, you're not going to blame Marcus Smart for the bench slacking?
Forget the bench for a second. How about against the Bulls when he's in a starting role, which he's always wanted,
right?
Whether he wants to admit to it or not, he's in the starting role, starts off great in the first quarter. What the hell happened?
The whole team played like shit, so you can't put that on Marcus.
I'm not putting it solely on him, but
I'm saying you can't. He
disappeared.
If the Celtics go 500, let's say hypothetically, you don't think some of the blame will go on Marcus Smart?
Listen, if the Celtics are relying
this next 10-game stretch,
if the Celtics are relying on Marcus Smart to lead the offense or lead the second unit offense, then they have miscast and is on them, not on Marcus Smart.
How is that miscast? If Kyrie. We just said if Kyrie hypothetically
is in and out of your face
in and out of the lineup.
What?
If he's in and out of the lineup, who's going to start? Marcus Smart, right?
Yeah, I get that, but you don't rely your offense.
We're not talking about relying. We're not talking about scoring.
That's exactly what I just said.
No, we're not talking about scoring.
No, that's literally what I just said.
Listen, we're not talking about scoring.
No, but I was though
leading the team.
Yes,
that doesn't necessarily mean scoring.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Like Marcus Smart does enough to lead the team. He plays the best defense on that second unit. He makes winning plays. He's a hustle, everything. He has every quality you want from a player. The only thing he's not doing is scoring. So if you're going to sit here and say, we have no scorer coming off the bench, who's going to lead the offense coming off the bench? And you suddenly look to Marcus Smart to say, this is the guy that's going to lead our second unit scoring. You're wrong. You're miscasting him. He does everything else well. Stop trying to make him a scorer because he's not.
It's not making him a scorer. It's what the hell are we talking about here? It's the next guy up. If he doesn't step up, then what are we talking about?
If you're relying on Marcus Smart,
no one's relying.
To
we're just
step up and score. You've miscast him in his role. He's not a scorer.
All right. So that's gonna be when
he can lead.
When he doesn't get re-signed, he's gonna be like, oh, well, I'm not a scorer, so I don't know what the Celtics wanted out of me. I'm going to go make my million somewhere else.
He can lead the second unit. He can run the offense in the second unit, but you have to put scorers around Marcus Smart. If you the thing that pisses me off the most is when you have that lineup of like Smart, Rozier, Baines,
Tatum,
a defensive lineup.
That's a defensive lineup, yeah. And it's just wait a second.
That's in spurts. It's not.
Who's going to score here? But then you know. Well, Marcus Smart just go. You can't. He's not a good enough scorer that he's going to be able to just turn it on and off like that. I don't believe that.
All right, it's opening segment of the Causeway Street Podcast brought to you by MyBookie. And believe it or not, the holiday season is here. And while that means plenty of parties, gifts, and spending, it also means there's a lot of football, basketball, hockey games
to bet on,
big
baby.
Ways every single day to score some money like my degenerate co-host over here, Sean Dutra, loves to do.
Forget about the family. Go check the spreads.
Up and play like the pros on game day. You can play the money line, side or total. MyBookie is your hookup for your betting needs and offers super fast payouts when you win. I trust them, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check them out yourself. They have odds on every matchup and a mobile site that makes wagering on your smartphone a breeze. Join now. Go to mybookie.ag and they will match your deposit up to 50% bonus. That's with a 50% bonus when you use the promo code Causeway. That's right. Use the promo code Causeway to activate this offer. Head to mybookie.ag today. MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid.
Check it out. If I had any faith in my, if I have a golden rule, don't bet against the Patriots ever. But that was the game to bet against the Patriots in Miami in December. 11-point spread. Should have done it.
Yeah, it's easy to say that now. Monday morning quarterback.
I know.
All right, let's get to our guest of the episode. He's a shooting coach and mental performance expert named Art Rondo, who recently wrote an article on Gordon Hayward and how there's a part of his recovery process that Art says is in the long term was going to do him more harm than good. I'll let Art explain. Art, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much. I appreciate your having me on. My concern, there was the picture that Danny Ainge put out of Gordon sitting in a chair shooting a basket. And, there's a lot of, I think that was very encouraging to a lot of people to see him actually doing stuff. And certainly it's great that he's feeling good enough to be out on the court. Concern I have really is that shooting from a chair is very, very different than shooting a jump shot. And Gordon's got a jump shot that the Celtics are willing to pay him. Was it $29 a year?
Yeah,
$29 million a year,
and it goes up.
And so,
every year.
Yeah, so he's practiced that over and over and over again. When you're sitting in a chair, you know, obviously you're not getting any legs under your shot at all. You're shooting lower than the rim, so to get any kind of arc, you've got to really push the ball a lot harder with your upper body as opposed to having the force come from your lower body and the touch from your upper body. So that's where my concern is.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we all did see that picture, and I guess it's more of a little bit of a it's all going to be okay in picture format. But so what is the purpose of him doing that, do you think? Like why did one of the Celtics coaches say, "Hey, shoot from this chair, practice your jump shot, keep your I don't know. What's the purpose behind that, you think?
Right. Well, to be honest, not knowing who it is that came up with that, I don't know if Gordon said, "Hey, I want to do this," or if one of the trainers said this. And certainly, you think about, for example, working on hand-eye coordination. Okay, that's great. He can do that while he's rehabbing his lower body. So, if they had him, let's say that they lowered the basket from 10 feet to say 7 feet or something like that, so that he's really releasing the ball the same distance below the rim that he normally would. So, okay, that's not bad. He's not going to be doing a whole lot of extra force with his arm. He can just take his little 5-footers and keep working on his touch. So, I don't know how he came to be doing this, but I think, if you think past sitting in the chair and feeling good about making a few baskets, you say, what's this going to do in the long term? That's what I was looking at. And, my concern is that when he gets his leg, rehabbed and now he's getting his body back in game shape and all that he's going to, instead of having muscle memory that he kind of has to, get the rust off of, instead he's going to have, the shot that he worked on for those years, plus he's going to have muscles that aren't sure if they're supposed to be, should I be doing what I did, for the prior 10 years or what I did for the last month or, exactly what. And I think it's going to keep him from being useful on the court longer than we want him to be, certainly.
Okay. And so, I sort of get it. I mean, I don't know. I tend to, I don't know. I don't see it being that big of a problem in my eyes. Obviously, I'm not a shooting coach or anything like that, but I've always seen basketball players be able to take anything that is sort of like basketball and just instantly be good at it, whether it be beer pong, pop a shot, whatever it is. Like, you're going up against somebody that's obviously it's a game or whatever, and it's a touch, right? They have that touch that it doesn't matter. So do you think I don't know, do you think it's really going to be something that he forgets 10 years or, how old is he? 30 years and forgets all those mechanics and goes from there?
Well, let's put it like this. I don't think it's going to be so bad that, he's going to take a basketball and, shoot is going to go 6 rows behind him or anything like that, But although that'd be interesting to see, I'm sure.
What, like Space Jam?
It's going to be the
magic,
magic
water.
The magic
a
water.
lot of hits if you post that video.
Yeah, loses their powers.
But But I do think that there's two different aspects. There's the muscle memory piece and all that. The other thing is that when we use our bodies a little differently than we're used to after doing something a certain way for years and years and years, we can start getting other types of injuries. You look at Tiger Woods when he changed clubs and he started having back injuries. And, what was the difference in the club? Maybe a 16th or 32nd of an ounce, maybe, a quarter inch in length or something like that. But, he had certain muscles that were used to certain forces and he had problems. Rory McIlroy changed clubs and I actually sent an email to a friend of mine, said, you watch, within 2 months, he's going to have back problems. And literally, like 2 days later, it was announced he was pulling out of a tournament with a sore back. So
yeah, that's true.
He's got stuff that he's used to doing. I mean, from a hand-eye coordination thing, like you said, these guys can pick up and do a whole bunch of stuff. What I would be doing, I'd be shooting darts, throwing darts, maybe shooting pool because he can do that sitting down. Stuff that isn't his basketball. But that keeps his muscles sharp and his hand-eye coordination sharp and all that stuff. That would be my recommendation. So,
what about the flip side? Now that he's able to take off the walking boot for a certain amount of time during the day, what if he just shoots standing and not jumping? Would that still affect his shot?
Well, right now I'm guessing if the walking boot comes off, there's only so much pressure he can put on that foot. And I'm guessing he can't jump off that foot. So he'd probably getting all his power from one leg and leaning a little bit. Now, so again, that's not the way he'll be shooting for real when he's healed. Certainly I think when he's got the walking boot off, he's got to be very careful he doesn't do anything that, like if let's say he did take a jump shot, and he's got the injured leg up a little bit, maybe a half inch or an inch so it doesn't land on the ground. And he comes down on his one good foot and loses his balance and shoots his leg out so he doesn't fall. Now, if he puts a little too much pressure on there, now all of a sudden maybe we're looking at another couple of weeks of rehab. So I think he's got to be very careful in coming back too soon, using the leg too soon. And then certainly, what we started out with which is really just not shooting in a 10-foot basket from a seated position in a chair.
Well, I think the whole thing started with Brad Stevens having that conversation with Frank Vogel because Frank Vogel went through this same type of, obviously not only just the injury, but he went through the same type of exercise with Paul George. And not 100% sure if he did it as much as Gordon Hayward's doing it or if it's the other
how
way
much
around.
is even Gordon Hayward doing it? Do we even know?
Well, I mean, he's been seen more than once doing it. And it's a part of the sort of the recovery process. That's something that Brad Stevens has talked about from the beginning. And it could affect him long term, but it's interesting to hear this take because it really crossed my mind that I could actually have a long term effects on him.
I figured it was more like he was working out, working out his upper body more than working on his shot.
Right. I believe that's the case. Yeah.
I also think too, it's like it's October, November, December. He's shooting basketballs. That's what he does, right? Like he wants to stay in some type of routine of getting onto the court. Even if he can't stand, he has to roll around. I mean, it's probably it's more of a comfort level too. So I don't know. I don't really have too much of a problem with it. But all right, Art, I got a major question for you. Maybe you can help us fix something.
Okay.
Marcus Smart. What the hell are we gonna do with Marcus Smart? How are you gonna fix his shot?
Yeah, can you talk to him? Can you have a couple sessions with him?
Yeah,
and see if he can get that shot more consistent.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you the major issue for. And what's he shooting from the line right now? Anyway,
yeah, it's bad. I mean,
last time you checked was 28. I can fact check that right now. 28% from the floor.
Okay.
I
mean, yeah, he's been on a hot streak. He's been on a hot streak.
Actually, no, I think he's
lately.
He just hit over 30.
Yeah,
let me double check that right now. That's a great question.
That's from he's shooting.
Wow. Oh yeah, from the field.
Yeah, he's shooting about the same from 3-point range and inside the 3-point line.
But regardless, even if this isn't his number over his career, he goes on these streaks where it could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where he is just colder than ice polar bear's toenails, whatever you want to say, big boy. He is cold, ice cold. It's just bad. But So
Oh, he's up to 32 now.
He's up to 30.
32%, but 29% from behind the arc.
yeah, so it's bad.
So it's about 30% overall.
Wow.
So what do you think in your professional opinion?
Yeah, because I always thought it's
Okay.
because he's a little flat-footed. But lately, well, I shouldn't say lately, but at the start of the regular season, we saw more of a lift. I mean, he did lose weight, lost about 15 pounds to get more of a lift off his shot. But then a month and a half later, he looked the same shooter that we've seen.
He's back to normal.
He's back to the same Marcus Smart we've seen throughout his entire career.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. Assuming that he hasn't got some kind of physical issue when he's, not shooting well, he's not eating poorly, he's not staying up all night playing video games, he's getting enough sleep, his body's in good shape for both when he's hot and when he's missing, then it's usually something going on. It can be something as simple as a belief, believe it or not, a belief that he's not going to keep up the good shooting can change so that he'll start missing. It can be something like, basically you can identify what's going on in a player's brain when he's in his zone. And most players know external ways of getting to their zone, but they don't know how to do it themselves, like just before the game type of thing. And so it can be really as easy as one session. That's usually, for me, it's kind of funny when I break somebody's slump. That tends to be pretty quick. That's usually, we do a session tonight, he's playing tomorrow and lights it up. You get other situations where, you'll see a team, maybe they don't play well in the third quarter of games, or don't play well in the second, back to back, so they don't play well on the road versus at home. Those are things where it takes a little bit more work. But again, if everybody's healthy, then it's really more of a mental thing. That's where basically when you believe that you're going to make the shot and all the different things that your head needs to be doing to be in kind of whether it's your total zone or just in a good place to be shooting, your muscles are fluid. You've got strength in your muscles, but not so much strength that you're going to shoot, over the backboard or chip the board when you hit it or anything like that. And when players aren't doing that, then the results are different. And if they're not confident, we tend to be a society that looks at the physical. So I'll talk about something mental for a second here. Is that your emotion and your beliefs actually change your blood chemistry, and your blood chemistry dictates how much power your muscles have, how tight they are versus how supple they are.
Right.
All those good things.
Interesting.
All right. Well, I'll play this. I'll play the entire clip from Marcus Smart next time I see him. See what he says. I don't know if I can keep him with me for that long, but we'll see. No, I can see all that. I mean, I feel like a lot of the time
it's a lot of small things, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the little things that
I don't
make
get
a
it
big
with
difference.
Marcus though, because Marcus probably the most confident dude you ever met.
No, but I think sometimes maybe he might be in his own head.
Right. And I think the biggest
simple as that.
I think the biggest reason why he's so confident is because he has these nights where he'll go 6 for 7 from behind the arc, drop 30 points, and then the next night he goes 1 for 11. We've seen it.
The psychology of shooting, huh?
Well, yep. And there's something that I call the Israeli Air Force syndrome. It's actually written up on it. The Israeli Air Force did a study back in the late 60s, and they found out that when their pilots were in the simulators and had a new high score, because typically a simulator is like a video game, right? So they got a new high score.
Yep.
Almost invariably, the next time they got in the simulator, they would be below their prior average. So they'd actually take a massive hit. And the psychologists kind of think that what this is that the brain takes this new high score, new high number of points, new high percentage, whatever it is, and thinks, oh, this is my new regular, and they've shown they're capable of doing it, but they haven't yet, gotten to the point where they can do it every night. So the next night they go and they take their first shot thinking it's going to be nothing but net. It misses. Now they start to think too much. And, as we know, thinking is not a good thing to go along with your shooting. So, next thing, like you said, 1 for 11 after a huge night, the night before.
All right. Well, good stuff. Yeah, we appreciate you stopping by. Coach Art Rondo. Not to be confused with Ray John, of course. He spells it a bit differently. RONDEAU at Art Rondo on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter. Follow this same type of insight and ask him any kind of questions you want about certain shooters, different players throughout the NBA. I mean, he's got the background for it. Hey, Art, we appreciate you stopping by. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Take
man.
care.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Art.
Yeah.
Hey, no, that was good.
No, that last part about
the last
Smart.
part was crazy.
Yeah, the last part about Smart.
Israeli bombers?
That makes sense
It does.
because he, like Sway said, he could go off for like 25 points on one night.
Right, so
6 from 8 from like behind the arc.
It's not a question
And
of
then
he can't do it.
yeah,
Exactly.
And then he's like the next night, I got to do that same thing again.
Right. Yeah.
And he misses his first 5 shots. He's like, no, I got to keep going until
But
I get going.
Yeah.
You know what's a great
he's like,
example
no.
of that, Joel? Remember Dallas?
Yes.
He just wouldn't stop shooting. It's
Right.
like, Marcus, those
Knock
aren't
it
the
off.
type of shots. Let knock it off.
Knock it
Let
off.
the offense come to you.
Not your night, bro.
And don't try to force it. But that's something that we used to complain about last year.
Yeah, but
This year started. He wasn't forcing it.
Yeah.
He just wasn't making it. They were good shots.
I still got to
but
say, though,
they
this
weren't going down.
Marcus Smart, I think, is his own case study because there is still, he'll go 0 for 6 in one night, and then there'll be a gigantic shot that he takes as his 7th shot, and he'll nail it, and it'll tie the game or put him ahead or something like that. He's a crunch time player. I don't know.
That's
Marcus
true.
Smart.
When
Marcus
it matters
Smart is
most, that's when he usually
he's a
knocks down a big one.
unique individual. Makes no sense. Somehow was a very valuable player on his team, but it just I just love every moment of it.
keep you in the game and take you out of a game
At
on
the
the same time.
same time in the same play,
The same, yeah.
the same play. He can do that same.
All right, Sean. Let's get to your segment here.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Sean Dutra's.
When you look ahead. So I know we talked a lot about the debacle against the Bulls. Celtics continue their road
That was a
tripping
typical,
ways.
that was a typical Marcus Smart game, by the way.
It should have been.
the first quarter, maybe.
Yeah, that was it.
Says about it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
all you got. Same thing. You can say the same thing about Tatum. Jeez, where the heck was Tatum?
Yeah.
It goes to show you where the focus is on opposing defenses when Kyrie Irving isn't out there.
All the
Yeah,
Causeway Street listeners are like, it's your fault, guys. You guys kept talking about trading him all week.
Yeah,
Why is this so fucking bright, dude?
This is gonna be a tough stretch.
This
though.
is the brightest fucking. I can't even read it. It's so fucking bright. Jesus. Literally giving me a fucking migraine, bro.
You're the one that has an iPhone. Why don't you fix it?
So Celtics continue their road tripping ways. They go out to.
No, they don't.
Actually, they're back home on tonight.
I can't read. I'm telling you, I'm blinded now.
Dude,
I can't even
use
fucking
it,
see.
your own fucking phone, bro. It's literally the same exact phone.
I was about to
It's
grab
the
my
same-
phone.
I'm trying to help Sean out.
You
I give
handed
him-
me the goddamn phone.
We get into the segment. I see he's clearly not prepared. I give him my phone so he can get the schedule going.
I am prepared.
And you complain about the brightness?
Okay, I only complain.
Never
about,
have I ever heard someone complain
I only
about the
complain about the
brightness
brightness when it's fucking blinding me, bro. I just basically like looked into the gates of heaven.
It's the same phone you have.
Nuggets travel to Boston. Boston Celtics back at home. I got a question for you guys. Are you guys buy into this Jokic hype? Because I don't.
A bit, yeah. I mean,
I think he's the most overrated player in the NBA.
the most overrated. No, there's
Yes,
a lot of there's
the
a lot
most
of other-
overrated player in the
there's
NBA.
A lot
Probably,
of players overrated.
yeah, it's
more
probably
overrated.
3 other
Name
players
him.
I can think
Name
of.
him.
Draymond Green, number 1.
Draymond Green is not overrated.
So overrated.
You put Draymond on a team
So
by himself,
overrated.
and he's the best player on it. How good is that team going to be? Draymond's up there. Yeah.
No, wrong. Next one.
Oh,
Convince me otherwise.
jeez.
Michael
We're
Red.
doing this right now.
Well, I mean, you brought up what we talked about LaMarcus Aldridge last episode. Is he overrated in your opinion?
I would much rather have LaMarcus Aldridge over Jokic.
All right.
Ugh, I can't think of anyone.
So
right
much
now.
for that.
Who else is overrated?
I think Jokic has some talent. I think he is not a franchise player though.
How about Kristaps?
No,
No,
Porzingis. I would take Porzingis
I was thinking that, but I was like, no, he's legit.
any day of the week
I'm not
over.
saying like,
Kristaps can put up 40 points any given night. Jokic cannot.
yeah, but that's not what he's.
Jokic is a Porzingis wannabe.
No, but that's not what he's known for.
He's a
Jokic,
He's a
Porzingis.
wannabe.
Jokic is he's more well rounded than Kristaps.
Jokic is the most overrated player in the NBA. Convince me otherwise.
Bradley
All right.
Beal,
Oh, I like that. It's a little overrated.
it's a little overrated. Come on.
But he's not rated as high as Jokic. Though. The problem I have with Jokic is everybody puts him on like this. Oh, Jokic! Like it's
Well,
like
for the Denver-
What about Andre Drummond?
For the Denver Nuggets,
a little bit.
No, I take Drummond.
yeah, he likes Drummond. No, for the Denver Nuggets,
Sometimes he just doesn't show up.
he fits. He fits on that squad. It's not like
Is he a
You
franchise player?
no, he's not.
Is he a
but-
franchise player?
No, I'm not saying he is.
Sway?
Not yet.
No,
Not yet.
So let's
But
stop.
the seeds have been planted.
Let's stop.
There's potential there.
Let's stop anointing him, folks. Thank you.
Watch him drop 35 tonight.
No, whatever. So as we're looking ahead here, Celtics take another Western Conference team in Boston. The Jazz come to town.
Well, I know who's overrated. Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, but that's well known.
Yeah, but one guy's
He's
not
so overrated.
One guy who's not overrated is Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert,
And he's back.
he's
So,
back.
We'll see how he does.
Even though Dutra shit on
Back
him
again. I know.
last week.
You don't like Gobert?
Whoa, wait a minute.
Gobert.
Another back-to-back? What was this? Back-to-back weeks, back-to-back.
Hey, I told you from the top. I told you
the
top of the
hell
show.
is this?
12 and 18.
games in 18 days, bro.
12 and 18,
So
and
you're
now
playing-
it's down to 10 and 15.
you're playing-
Jesus.
You're playing it like once every night, and there's a couple back-to-backs in there. So
So Celtics
10
have
and
a-
15.
So Kyrie, we don't have time, or the Celtics don't have time for you to have, quad issues.
Yeah, definitely don't have time to have quad issues.
10 and 15.
Home and away, back-to-back. What the hell, Adam Silver? I'm going to have to talk to you. Celtics then travel down to Memphis on Friday night.
Sean sent another
You gotta
email.
talk,
Saturday
you gotta talk
night.
to the NBA deputy. I think
Yeah.
he does the scheduling.
And then, okay, you know who is definitely not overrated when we're looking ahead to the Monday night showdown between the upstart Indiana Pacers' MVP candidate Victor Oladipo.
I love it how both of you guys were shitting all over Oladipo a season ago.
Yeah.
and now this guy
Well,
is
no,
like
whoa,
an
whoa,
MVP
whoa, whoa, whoa.
candidate.
No, we were shitting on him, but you know why though, right?
'Cause
I know why,
He didn't help out Russell Westbrook in an ideal situation.
But he was a
where
19-point
he could-
scorer. All he's doing is scoring 5
but
more
Joel,
points this season.
Oladipo
Okay, you know what?
is a beast
Maybe I shouldn't have
this
said
year.
ideal. Maybe it wasn't an ideal situation, but he talk about an opportunity wasted, man. I mean, you literally could have been the sidekick to the MVP of the NBA.
But look
help
at-
this guy. Help him.
I get
And
you, but
couldn't
but look
put
at-
up
They're both the same
17
player.
but
tonight.
look at the Thunder right now.
Couldn't put up 17
Look at the
tonight.
Thunder right now. 2 bona fide All-Stars next to the MVP, and they're under 500.
Well, I was thinking about this today. I was like,
They're playing better than Oladipo.
you know what I was thinking about? You know what I was thinking about?
Even Melo's playing better than Oladipo was last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Both
You know.
of them.
But here's my thing.
Averaging
Right?
about the same, but okay.
You know how
Last year?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, average about
the
17.
whole NBA right says you need to have 3 superstars to win championships. Just what you need. It's what you need. What if that's not what you need?
That sounds like Zach. Zach is always talking about you need
That's it.
superstars.
No,
You
but
need
the whole
superstars.
NBA is like that, right? You need
But
3.
kinda
If you
sound
don't
like
have 3,
Zach, too.
if you don't have 3, doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But is Russell Westbrook a different type of player that you don't need 3 superstars? It actually hurts you to take the ball out of Russell Westbrook's hands.
That's just
You
it,
need a-
though.
you need a
You're not
second
really-
guy.
You're not really taking the ball too much out of his hand because he's still putting up, if not the same numbers, triple-double wise.
No, he's not having a good year this year.
Russell Westbrook
Scoring
Still
is
having it.
down.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
score, that's
compared
the only
to-
thing that's down.
Yeah,
He's still
everyone's
averaging
scoring is
10
going to go down
rebounds
when you
and
have
10 assists.
when you have two other.
That's the thing, though.
all-stars.
When you have success having, like, I think that they would have been fine just bringing in Paul George. If they brought in Paul George, they would have been fine. Carmelo Anthony isn't, or either or. Carmelo Anthony or Paul George. If
I
you
just
would have
think they're
brought
trying
one
to
in, you would
figure
have
it
been
out.
fine.
I just think a lot of teams that are put
So
together
no.
like that, it takes them a while to figure it out. I'm
So
telling you right now,
buckets and fucking Cantor would have been made a difference right now for the Thunder.
Cantor probably.
I'm telling you right now, come March, April, you're going to see a different team and they're going to be fine.
I'm just
Trust me.
saying, maybe
No,
it's
the
time
thing
to
about-
rethink this. If you have a transcendent player that doesn't need help, like Russell Westbrook does not need help, why are you forcing help on him? Like, why are you forcing?
What do you mean he doesn't need help?
What do you mean he doesn't need help?
Why are you forcing 2 ball-dependent superstars into a formula that had Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double last year?
Well,
Which
why
he
are
still
you?
is.
Well, Sean, what
Wait.
was the alternative for Oklahoma? I mean, really?
No, you were
They-
fine
they
with Paul
needed
George.
something.
Paul George
They
would have been
needed
fine.
help.
You didn't need to go out and get Carmelo Anthony. I think they should have seen that
Why not?
between Paul George and Russell Westbrook, you would have had a nice core to start building around.
I still
the
like
problem
this
is-
team. I
It's-
still
it-
like this
wait.
team.
What was the knock last
In
year?
a 7-game series, I still like this team against Golden State.
What was the
I
knock
still
last
like
year?
them.
What was the knock last year on the Thunder? They didn't have a second person to score, right?
Even
When
though
you bring
Oladipo
in,
was averaging 17, 18 points. But go ahead.
still he absent.
Okay, so
Was
this
absent.
time around, this year, you have 2 other players that are averaging 19 and 20. So you have 2 Oladipos.
Hold on.
Well, how did the Heat?
You only need one.
How did the Heat look when Chris Bosh and LeBron James went over there? They didn't look great the first 20-something games.
No, the problem
it
with
took them a while.
Listen, the problem
They got
with
better than
Oklahoma
this
City is that there's too much ISO between either Russell, Paul George, or Melo. But at the same time,
That's what I'm saying.
okay, but listen though, at the same time, I agree with Sway. You put them in the playoffs. Hopefully they'll get there. Even the way they're going, it doesn't look like they're going to get there.
They will get there.
All right. Right now,
You'll
in the
see a
playoffs,
turnaround.
in a 7-game series, they can go up against anyone. I truly believe that.
By playing the exact same way they're playing right now.
And listen, I'm not saying that they're. I have them
believe it.
favored to top the Golden State Warriors.
You can't
but
have 3 ISO players on the same fucking team.
I
You
think
can't have 3 ball-dominant ISO players on the same team.
I think you can because Carmelo has proven that he doesn't have to dribble as much as he used to, or he can
How
form.
has he proven that?
He had when he was playing in what's it
Don't
called?
say Team USA.
Yeah.
Don't you dare
Team USA?
say
I was
Team
gonna
USA.
say Team USA.
Don't. That is different. He's not getting paid to play at Team USA.
Okay. Not
But how
even
many
Team
times?
USA.
How many times has
But-
Russell Westbrook grab a rebound and goes from one end to the other and scores? Like, is that all like Oklahoma City basketball is about?
Yeah, if he's winning games, yeah.
But they're not. That's the point.
Were they winning
That's what I'm
games
trying
last year?
to say. Well, they won enough games to be the 6th seed. So right now
I
they're
think-
worse than the 6th seed
Look,
right
if
now.
Melo can be
Thank
that
you.
corner shooter.
You needed
who
one.
can knock down shots, maybe not necessarily 3
Right,
pointers,
but
but
he's
he
not.
knock down shots.
This seems to be
He
more
can-
well-rounded, and they're not.
He can develop.
Okay, he's
He
not
can
going to
change his game.
He's
He
not
can
gonna be.
conform. Yes, he can.
How long? He's been in the league since 2003. That's fucking 15 years. He's not changed his game.
What about when he went as far as he's ever been in his entire career?
I would have much
What about
rather.
the furthest he went with the Nuggets?
Well, we talked about this.
But
Billups.
listen, you could have, if you didn't want Cantor, fine. You could have traded Cantor and got some pieces, got some shooters, just to surround Russell Westbrook with pieces. You don't need 3 superstars, especially 3 hard-headed superstars. Which Paul George is in a contract here; he's not giving up the ball. Carmelo Anthony has never given up the ball in his life, and it's Russell Westbrook's team. He's not going to give up the ball.
It's up to fucking
Billy Donovan.
no. What we used to call him all the
I
time.
know. I thought
Bobby Davis.
Bobby Davidson. Yeah, it's up to that dude to figure it out. And what did we say in our Western Conference preview? Right, we said Russell knows what he needs to do. Paul George knows what he needs to do.
I told you.
Does
this team was
Melo
gonna be
know
trash.
what he needs to do?
I told you this team was going to be trash.
Still too early.
Anyways,
All right.
we weren't even talking
We'll see
about
how
the
they do
Thunder.
against the
They're not even
Celtics.
playing
We're
the Thunder.
talking. No, we're not playing the Thunder. We were talking about Oladipo.
Oh, they're
and
not?
the
Oh,
Pacers.
jeez.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So Monday night we got the Pacers in Indiana.
So the MVP
MVP
candidate Oladipo.
the MVP candidate Oladipo. Oladipo's just as much as an MVP candidate as
LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge. Hell yeah, better than LaMarcus Aldridge.
He said just as.
I was gonna say as Isaiah Thomas was at this point last year, but
That's fair.
yeah, Celtics had some tough stretches to begin the year. They didn't really go on that streak until after Christmas.
Actually, it was around this time last year when
They-
they had that big loss against the Thunder.
Yeah.
Last year.
So all I'm
At
saying,
Oklahoma.
he's putting up great numbers, and he's leading a team that has literally nobody else on that team. So I don't know. I'm sort of starting to like Oladipo. I don't know why.
All right. Let's see how they do. Should I even ask? Which, by the way, I did say 2-1 last week, but 1-2.
Yeah,
I didn't
1
say
and
they
2.
could-
That's the worst look
I
ahead
told
we've
you
ever
they were
had.
going to win that San Antonio game. Just didn't.
They should have won that San
Didn't say.
Antonio game.
Well,
Manu Ginobili had
I said
two
what I said.
stupid ass buzzer beaters that won the game for him.
Talk about halfway through, man. Kyrie Irving. Jeez. Doesn't get closer than that.
Yeah. Even his face was just like, that should have went in. All right, I'm going to still go. How many games did I say? I'm going to give him 3-0.
All right. Well, they can sure use it 3-0.
They definitely need to get back on a winning streak. They lost the best record in the NBA.
All right. Good job, Sean.
Oh, thanks, man. Next time, fix your fucking brightness. I got a fucking migraine now.
And that's Sean Dutra's.
When you look ahead.
All right. That version of Looking Ahead is brought to you by DraftKings.
Oh,
Sean,
not Tony Starbarn?
How'd your DraftKings going?
DraftKings is going okay.
Okay.
I mean,
All
sort of
right.
hitting a cold streak now, but
Yeah, I can tell from toning your voice.
yeah, this is the best time to play DraftKings. This, so they say.
That's right. Head over to DraftKings if you haven't already. Enter the promo code CLNS and get your fair share at $10,000.
I will say,
Don't want to miss out on that.
I will
Head
say,
over to DraftKings.com. Use the promo code CLNS.
if you're still if you lost the fantasy football playoffs, now is the time to get on DraftKings because DraftKings you can just pick your players every week. Jimmy G is some cheap money for some big stats
Yeah, he delivered for you, huh?
delivered last week. So get out there and play your week 15 DraftKings fantasy football.
All right, head over to DraftKings. Use the promo code CLNS, and you can get yourself a free entry. And, of course, your share at $10,000.
Woo!
I get the feeling that this is going to be a really good in case you missed it.
I get a feeling just like you're feeling.
So, Joel, don't disappoint.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
Pressure.
In case you missed it.
Pressure. Boom, 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 doom, doom. Not to be confused with Vanilla Ice. That's a completely different beat.
Yeah, come on.
I'm with you, Vanilla Ice. The beat's different.
The beat is not different.
It's different.
Are you serious?
No one.
You're seriously what? That you're gonna go with that?
He sampled
It's
it.
the same
but
goddamn
it's a
beat.
different beat.
No, it's the same beat. Just say you ripped the beat up.
No one's gonna confuse David Bowie for fucking Vanilla Ice. Okay?
The beat?
No one's gonna. I know. I'm just saying that no one's. When you said Under Pressure and I said Under Pressure, no one's gonna be like, "Oh, they're talking about Vanilla Ice."
Play one of. Play one or the other right now and have Sway pick the one.
I get it. It resembles it, but it's different.
No, it's the same fucking thing.
I'm with you, Vanilla.
I'm not.
All right.
All right. Well, on that note, in case you missed it,
Vanilla Ice is dropping a new album. No.
he wants to try out for an NBA team. No, I'm just kidding.
Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer collaboration.
Collaboration album called "The Career Ain't Done."
Here's an update from last week's. In case you missed it,
update! I love those.
on the Ball brothers who got pulled from their respective schools a week ago.
They got kicked out.
Yeah, they got kicked out.
I like
well,
how
actually, maybe
No.
LiAngelo got kicked out, and LaMelo was just not in school. He
just stopped going to school.
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's gonna be homeschooled now,
which is ridiculous.
Well, LaMelo and LiAngelo Ball have agreed to a 1-year contract with the Lithuanian League.
The Lithuanian League?
I'm not even gonna try to.
The Lithuanian League.
Yes, they're gonna play in the Lithuanian League.
The Lithuanian League.
Correct. Division 1.
Division 1.
What the hell?
It better be Division 1.
I'm not gonna attempt to say the name of the team that they're gonna play for.
Why not go to Spain?
Why not go
to I don't know, Germany?
That's what I'm saying. The Lithuanian League.
Lithuanian, baby.
Lithuanian? That's like ridiculous. When was the last NBA player that came from the Lithuanian League?
They're on board with the Baller Brand brothers.
Come on, say the team. I want to know the team.
Oh God.
Come on, what's his name?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Come on.
Just fucking say it, dude.
I can't. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Let me read.
Go ahead. Take a shot.
It's Vitatas Perennial.
Vitatas?
No, wait, hope. Vitatas pre-night.
Tatas or TTs?
Vitatas pre-night. Vitatas pre-night.
Vitatas pre-night?
You going to go to your Vitatas pre-night jersey?
What did you just call me?
Vitatas pre-night.
Bless you.
Check out the Vitatas on that one, huh? Hey.
There you go.
Those double B's.
What you
triple
say, what you
B's,
do.
dude. Those
Okay.
Vitatas.
Those Vitatas. Well,
So let me guess. They're going to go off. They're going to be stars there. And then they're going to take their talents back to the U.S.
the
the
Lithuanian craze is for real, guys. Like
The,
they're ready. They're ready for the Baller Brothers.
buzz surrounding them is going to catapult an NBA career.
Now, I will say this.
That's the baller brand mentality.
If
That's LeVar's mentality.
LeVar Ball just so this could be the most genius move of all time.
Good.
I mean, it worked for Steph Marbury.
No, not like that. If LeVar Ball is like, okay, LiAngelo, you fucking suck, and LaMelo, you're fucking.
But they don't know that.
But see, that's
hold
the
on,
thing.
hold on. Let me go to my.
They're
Let me
going
go
to
to
drop
my.
like
let me go to my-
57 points.
let me
And then,
yeah.
All right,
so,
go ahead.
hold on. Bring them to Lithuania. No one's gonna follow them in Lithuania.
Hold on. Didn't LaMelo do that, though? Oh, no. It was LiAngelo. He dropped like 70-something points.
Yeah, that was in a high school game.
Okay.
No one's
He
gonna
didn't do it in
follow them.
Lithuania.
But no, I'm saying, but that's all Lithuania sees.
This is going to be great for Lonzo Ball. Get them out of the United States. Get LeVar Ball out of the United States. Go to Lithuania. Where would you exile people to?
There's no extra,
Lithu-frickin-wania.
There's no extradition there, I hear.
Good.
For shoplifting.
Good. I'm just saying this could be a genius move by
Still got
LeVar,
sticky
or
fingers now.
this could be the worst move by LeVar of all time. So, I mean,
I think it's a win-win situation. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be the numbers, the production. Obviously, they're going to be looked at, from an NBA standpoint, they're going to be looked at as, oh, yeah, you did that in Lithuania. Let's see what you can do here. But it doesn't hurt them. Like you said, well, if it was Spain, if it was another league,
it was an actual
Italy.
league.
He's not going to put up those type of numbers. Neither
No,
one
he
of them.
wouldn't. But I
It's
mean,
a win-win for them.
no, I mean, I think it's the dumbest thing in the world to say, hey, let's take the kids out of fucking school and bring them to fucking Lithuania to play basketball and fucking run around with goats in the middle of the field.
Well,
I see what you mean.
they better find someone that
Yeah, I
speaks
agree.
English because it's going to be a
But
long-ass season.
I'm just saying, like, the only reason why it makes sense is if LeVar's like, yeah, let's just get away for a while. You know what I mean? Let's let Lonzo do his thing. We're hurting Lonzo. Maybe Lonzo went to him and said, Dad, shut the fuck up. You get out the fuck. Go to Lithuania. You know what? I wish you weren't here. I wish you were in Lithuania. And he's like, done. Come on, LiAngelo, LaMelo.
Well, I mean, they're not leaving anytime soon because LeVar, LaMelo, and LiAngelo were all seen at Madison Square Garden when the Lakers lost again.
You mean they're missing
the
Lithuanian
Knicks.
training camp?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
All right, let's do this then. Which one of them gets in trouble over there? And do they get in trouble?
LiAngelo.
I think LaMelo is going to be like one of those child stars that gone wrong.
Oh, that's right. You said that last week.
Yeah, I think. Did I?
Yeah, you said that he's going to be, I believe you said smoking crack by 21.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, no, I think it was heroin. Was it heroin?
No,
I don't think I would
it was
say
crack.
heroin.
It was
Was it
crack.
crack?
Yeah, I wouldn't say heroin.
It's just like, I don't go that far.
It goes heroin. That's
He goes, that's I draw the line somewhere, and crack is it.
a much darker road.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't go.
come on.
He goes, I don't go beyond crack.
All right, what else we missed?
Oh, well, speaking of Laker players, Matt Barnes has called it a career, folks.
Oh, man.
The 37-year-old
What?
posted his retirement on Instagram this week. I think Aiden should give him a ring, though. What y'all think about that?
Wait, what?
What?
Why?
I don't know. I feel like he got something left to offer a team like the Celtics.
Oh, I thought you meant like give him a championship
Me
ring.
too.
No.
Yeah,
I said
what
give him
are you
give
talking
him a
about?
ring, like to call him up.
Like, did I miss something? Some type of
I'm
trade
sorry.
that he was
I'm
throwing
sorry.
in?
I should have said he should have shot him a text. Should have shot him out on Twitter. That's what I should have said. My bad.
Well, yeah, Joel, you were talking about that earlier about how Celtics should reach out to somebody to use that exception. I mean,
No, it's not they don't even have to use the exception on him. They can
No.
sign him
No,
without
no,
using
no.
the exception.
oh yeah, without using it.
Yeah,
well,
they can
just-
sign
I
well,
need Matt Barnes.
They can
well,
make it.
you were talking about
please,
in
thank
you were
please.
talking about in general.
Yeah.
bringing in another veteran.
Another veteran. Sure.
I'm not crazy about it, but
Matt Barnes doesn't have a lot in the tank. Bro.
but the question is though, most entertaining Matt Barnes story throughout his career, or most entertaining story / whatever he did.
You're
on
an
Well,
the
he
idiot
had-
if you don't pick the Derek Fisher.
No, but
shit,
he had
man.
one
That
hell
Derek
of-
Fisher shit is the best thing of all time.
he had one hell
yeah,
of a.
that's why I didn't want to say off the court. Something on the court.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he had
fuck
one hell
that.
of a 2016 because besides wanting to kill Derek Fisher,
No, remember that Derek Fisher story where it just updates just kept coming?
yeah, it just kept coming. But
that
then
was just great.
remember when him and they jumped, or was it Cousins? Was it them two that jumped a couple in New
Oh,
York
at the bar?
at the bar in New
Yeah,
York?
because DeMarcus Cousins' brother got in some trouble. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That was great. Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes.
What about the time he tried to fake out Kobe in the inbound?
Yeah.
Kobe didn't even flinch. He puts the ball right in his face. Kobe's just like, so what?
My least favorite Matt Barnes was Magic Matt Barnes.
Oh
Oh, 09?
That was my least favorite Matt Barnes.
Wait, no, was he on 19?
no, I think
No,
it
that
on
was
2000.
after.
I think it was on a
2010
2010.
team.
2010,
2010
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
That was my least favorite Matt Barnes. Fucking hated that dude.
I would have minded him on the Celtics around that time though.
Nah, you know what? Fuck Matt Barnes. Why the fuck are we giving a fucking? Oh, hey, what's your
Oh,
favorite
boy.
Matt Barnes story? Matt Barnes is a fucking role player, man. Get the fuck out of here. I don't have a favorite. You know what? You're the only,
First
the only
off,
reason why.
first off, hold on.
That's
First
the
off,
whole thing, Sean. That's
first off.
Hey, what?
Why are you looking at me? He's the one that brought up his
Listen,
favorite Matt Barnes story.
I'm just talking.
And number two,
All right.
don't shoot the messenger. I'm just passing along information.
Put your gun away.
All right, put it down.
All right, bro. Sorry.
Put it down. Put it
I
down.
didn't mean to get like
come
that.
on, come on.
Been tough. Been a tough day.
Put the safety back on.
All right. Hey, did you know the national animal in Lithuania is the white stork?
What else?
What kind of noise does the white stork make?
Probably a bird noise.
Come on, that's your cue.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Awesome. In case you missed it, Celtics say that Al Horford will sit out against the Nuggets tonight for rest. Don't think it's anything serious or whatever.
Nope, I don't like that.
While Kyrie Irving and his left quad are listed as probable.
All right, this is my thing now. This is my theory.
All right. Well, hold on. Before you get into your theory. All right. Okay. Give me your theory.
No, what do you got?
No,
Oh,
I
no,
don't.
go
I
ahead.
don't like this at all.
I think Brad Stevens is, well, first of all, he's already said that a lot of this monitoring people's minutes has a lot to do with the stretch. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
12 games, 18 days. He wanted to rest them up, make sure they're good to go for this stretch.
You recall
However,
the G League guys, the
I
two-way contract
think
guys.
at the beginning of this stretch, he's not only trying to rest his guys because he's thinking about the rest of the regular season, but he's also resting these guys so he can give these other players off the bench an opportunity. That's the thing about Brad Stevens this year. I think he thinks this is by far the deepest team he's ever had to deal with since he became an NBA coach.
That's
and in
probably
some
true.
capacity, he's probably right.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely.
I think he doesn't want those guys at the end of the bench to start to become disinterested.
Or complacent, like, all right, this is where we're going to be.
Exactly.
This is us. This is our role.
Sort of agree, but I think it's different. I think he realizes that his team,
And also, he's picking teams to do this against, right?
Right.
The Denver Nuggets,
Right.
the Chicago Bulls. They didn't work out too well in Chicago. But
no.
the
No.
Denver Nuggets.
But I think he
is an opportunity for these guys to step in and feel important.
I think he realizes that the team is too reliant upon Kyrie Irving and Al Horford.
Well, just the starters
could
in
be
general,
true,
I
too.
think.
I think he realizes like, whoa, guys, don't think we're all this great because if Kyrie has a bad night,
Exactly.
we're off.
Don't think Kyrie's going to bail us out every
Right.
single
Here,
night.
here, you know what? Let me just take Kyrie away from you and see what happens.
The same shit we were talking about a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
Like, do the Celtics need a go-to second scorer that they can rely upon when Kyrie's out, or he's just having a shitty game?
Think about Brad. He's
do.
got that
They
pop
do.
mentality, man.
Yeah.
Guy reminds me so much of Greg Popovich, which is obviously a good thing.
It's all a mental game. So you gotta give the other guys, a reality check.
Yeah.
Like stop celebrating on the bench, get in the game, and try to win us the game.
Right.
You know what
Get
I mean?
involved. Everyone on this team has a part, and everyone's going to play their part. Everyone's going to get an opportunity. Make sure you're ready when your name's called.
And he loved it that they lost to the Bulls. Stevens
course.
loved it. He was like,
He was like smiling more than I've ever seen him
He
after
was
the
like-
games. He was like, "So we suck tonight, right?
how do we do tonight,
Back to
guys?
reality, right, fellas?
Huh? So we're not as good as everyone thought we were, huh?
Oh,
Huh?
so we're not as good, huh?
Yo, after that 16
Marcus,
game,
how'd you do? Huh?
after
How you
that
feeling?
16-game winning streak, Brad's like, we have not
He's
been
like-
playing like a team that
He's
won
like,
16 in a row.
We're not the
getting
best
that-
team in the NBA right now.
Right. We're getting away with these wins. We're coming from behind half of these wins. I mean, we
18
talked about
down
it.
18.
I'm not sure we
down
talked
17.
I'm not
down
sure we
16.
talked about it here, but like there's so many games throughout that stretch where the last big winning streak when the Celtics won 17 in a row, 19 in a row with the record. KG, Paul Pierce, and them. How many of those games Paul Pierce, KG were chilling on the bench in the fourth quarter, up by 30 points?
About
You didn't see
85%
this-
of them.
You
No,
didn't
never,
see.
never.
You didn't see that exactly. Never. You didn't see that this year throughout that 16-game winning streak.
You're right. You're
It was
right.
come from
It
behind,
was always like down to the wire games.
either down to the wire or they were up by like 10.
A couple of OT games in there as well.
Ain't that the truth?
So is it time to get on? I see what you did there. Is it time for us to get on the Tice train for him to get some more burn, especially against the Nuggets since Al Horford's going to be out? Meanwhile, in case you missed it, the Celtics don't have the best record in the NBA right now. What? That would be the Houston Rockets.
You took the word out
to
of my
make
mouth.
things
That
to
was
make
an
things
easy
worse,
one,
or to
dude.
make things and put things in perspective. Kawhi Leonard's back
Oh boy.
for the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, the NBA
who
done
are
got real.
right on the heels of Houston and the Warriors.
The plot thickens.
And the plot thickens. Houston's won, 10 in a row? Come on.
You know what's too bad? The Celtics are not going to face the Spurs with Kawhi Leonard. You know, like I feel like we were cheated out of that game on Friday night.
Yeah.
Even though the Celtics lost, it would have been
What a shitty way to lose. by the way.
more interesting, more competitive, more I don't know,
Entertaining.
entertaining to see
Sorry,
Kawhi
I-
Leonard in the mix. I
You
mean,
mean you didn't enjoy, 40-year-old Ginobili?
oh, I did.
I have
You
no
know,
appetite for Manu Ginobili, and I never will. I hate that guy.
Hey, don't knock the hustle, man.
No, I hate him.
Come on, man.
Sorry, but
Manu,
if you're gonna be
guy is damn near
So
40
he's
doing this
fucking
thing.
cerebral, bro.
no,
Yeah, man.
no,
Cerebral.
Can't teach
No.
that.
Yeah, man.
No.
Can't teach that.
I hate that dude.
Got cojones.
No, he does not.
Yes, he does.
I don't know. I don't like him.
He does. He single-handedly beat the Houston Rockets. He beat James Harden. He fucking made him his bitch
Left-handed appears. Been saying that for years.
in the last two games of that series last year.
Left-handed
And you know he
Pierce,
did.
You guys are out of your mind. I think
He did.
I think Manu
Not
was
as good as Pierce.
He's a nice role player.
But has that killer mentality. Give me the ball at the end of the
He's
game.
a nice role player.
This is what I do.
He's a great role player. I'll give you that.
What you mean he's a role player?
great
Sean,
role
how
player.
many times has he knocked down that shot throughout his career? How many
Great-
times he's
like I
gotten the
said,
game winning
great
career?
role player. You
Role
can't-
players don't hit,
Bro, he's one
hit
of the,
game
he's one of
winners.
the best clutch players of all time.
All right.
Yes. Now that we're done dusting him off, what are you going to say?
I'm just saying Kawhi Leonard coming back is just going to throw a giant curveball into everything right now.
Of course.
Everything. I still think Kawhi's going to be the MVP of the season. I think he's going to come back and average about 30 points a game.
I don't think that. But you know what? I do love Kawhi. I mean, we saw what he did in the playoffs
The only
last
way
year.
that happens,
he
though-
was my call for MVP last year. Fell short, obviously. But I do
Well, that was
think he has an MVP year somewhere in this career. You'll see that.
The only
It's gonna
way that
happen.
the only way that happens, Sean's theory, should that be this episode's conspiracy?
we got better than
Want me
that.
to save the beat? I'll save the beat.
Yeah, you
We
guys
get
got to like
Say the
make
beat.
that more every once in a while.
Well, anyway, let me finish my point. The only way that
I don't
happens,
know what the fuck Sway's trying to say.
if I know, right?
You can't just be dropping conspiracy theories every single episode. Like, come
If
on.
San Antonio,
It takes away from the magic of it.
if San Antonio grabs the first seed
Mm.
and Kawhi averages 30 points, that's the only way he'll.
Which I think will happen. I think that's a legitimate thing that can happen because I think you're going to see Golden State start getting into this resting funk. D'Antoni's teams never play a full 82 the way they play their first start of the season.
Or any stretch.
Yeah, I think.
And anyway, D'Antoni's teams don't go far in the playoffs. We've seen this fucking movie.
and
We've
there's-
seen how it ends.
And there's also again
James Harden doesn't have that killer mentality either.
just like we talked about Brad Stevens saying, "Oh, you're going to rely on Kyrie. Let's see what the fuck you guys can do." I think Pop realized, like, all right, LaMarcus Aldridge, you have sucked. Carry the team. See what you have. See if you still got this in you, right?
He has.
Gave it to him, and he has carried the team. So I think you have a rejuvenated LaMarcus Aldridge. You match him up with a Kawhi Leonard, who is the best all-around player in the NBA. That's a fucking squad, and that Spurs team.
They got gritty veterans with fucking Gasol.
Exactly.
And Parker and Ginobili, whether you want to admit to it or not.
I said he's a great role player, man. He's always been the same player.
Okay, wait. But don't get it confused, though. He's a role player now.
Always been. Anyways,
but
what I'm trying to say, the Spurs team is better than they were last year.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Rudy Gay on that team.
Too.
You add Rudy Gay on that team. You now have seen Anderson play really well. You've seen DeJounte Murray turn into somebody that's a legitimate player in the NBA. Maybe not contributor, right?
Yeah,
solid role player, right? Just like Manu Ginobili was. But
stop saying
all I'm saying is
Ginobili.
This Spurs team is better than they were last year, and if Kawhi Leonard is healthy in that Western Conference Finals, who knows what happens? Do they beat the Warriors? Do they at least make it a more competitive series?
They're deeper.
They're better. Kawhi's coming back. It's just all
about Patty Mills.
Everything falls into place for the Spurs. I think that's actually
we got almost the entire episode without you singing.
Sean's got jingles for days.
I got jingles for days, man. Come on.
Dean. Jingle,
I'm saying watch out for MVP Kawhi. He's about to make his run. All right. Sorry, MVP Oladipo.
The Dean has spoken. I'm sorry.
Yeah, stop calling me Dean on these videos, bro. It's ridiculous. My name's Sean. It's not Dean. It's Sean.
Hey, I think it's the autocorrect, man.
I don't
autocorrect thinks Sean's only spelled one way.
No, that is not true. I spell my name all the time on everything, and it never autoconnects to Dean. Never once has my shit autoconnected to Dean.
Let me check my phone.
Never fucking once.
Your phone's probably different because you probably have a name.
Even his Twitter handle.
No, I can
says Sheen.
I can go on a random ass computer right now and type Sean, and I won't even think twice about autocorrecting to Dean. Sean is a much more common name than Dean. When was the last time you fucking met a new name, Dean? Really? Tell me. When was the last dude last guy named Dean you met?
Yeah, it didn't autocorrect me.
Yeah, it never fucking does. That is just poor sportsmanship. That's what that is.
iPhone was like Sean. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What about him?
One of the most common names, most common way to spell it. What do you want?
What about him?
What's next?
Just ridiculous. I'm not Dean, all right? I'm sick of that shit.
Dean Dutra.
I'm about to go on strike, bro.
Dean Dutra.
If you want to call me Sean the Dean Dutra, then it's fine. You make a little nickname up, but I don't want that shit. I'm not Dean. My mom spent hours picking out that name. I'm sure.
On that note, this in case you missed it is brought to you by the CLNS mobile app. Download the best in audio, video, sports coverage online.
Yeah, change my name.
They do know how to spell. It's just
check out Dean Dutra.
Just have a problem with Dean Dutra over here.
It's 2 in a row, bro.
And also check out the CLNS YouTube channel.
0 for 2.
To view Dean. Actually, you can actually view how it's spelled because that's how they spell it on there.
It's fucking ridiculous. But you know what? Maybe I said a lot of stupid shit, and then the next time when they'll have it as Sean, they'll be like, "Oh, who's this new dude they brought in?
He looks a lot like Dean.
This dude knows his shit. Is there? Does he have a twin named Sean? Dean and Sean? Scene and Dean?
Scene and Dean.
Oh. Still thinking the names for my kid. Maybe Dean's the name, dude.
I was just going to say that. Dude. Hey, Dean Dutra.
Dean Dutra.
Rolls off the tongue.
Double D. Nah, I can't do that.
I was waiting for that.
Like, yeah, I'm trying to chill with Dean, you know. Dean's the man.
Dean's got that fire.
Holla at Dean. Well, you can holler at Dean fire. On Twitter. At Sean Dutra to talk to Dean.
Yo, you ever chill with Dean's pops?
It's a mean
Good
dude.
peoples, bro. Good peoples.
Mean Dean.
You listen to that old school hip hop all the time, but he's a good dude.
He lets anything go on.
He's a good dude.
And that is it for
In Case You Missed It.
Got so fucked up at Dean's house the other day. Nah, I don't like that, man. Dean's definitely a party animal. I don't like that. I can't deal with that.
Dean's a player.
Dean's definitely a player.
Yeah.
Nah, yo,
You can't trust Dean.
He just crushes a lot. He's not a player.
Come on, man. What about Sidney Dean?
Yeah.
That's what I think of. When I first heard Dean, I think of White Man Can't Jump, but that was his last name. Sidney Dean.
There's never been a famous Dean.
No.
He could be the first.
Well, you could be the first.
I don't know if Paul's going to like it, though. I don't think Paul will like
you'd be the first. That could be your alter ego. You could be Dean.
You're Slim Shady.
Don't let Dean come out. You know, Dean gets... If you think Sean's crazy, Dean is some other
Dean
shit.
gets on the track.
Fucking Dean's here.
All right, my name's not Sean, Nick, all right? I mean, shit.
He goes, I know. It's fucking Dean.
It's like, yeah. Dean.
All right, whatever.
Dean's like, where's my snare?
All right.
All right, until next time, folks. Make sure you follow us on all social media accounts.
Oh, he almost did it.
At Causeway Street.
Almost finished the show without saying
We gotta
it.
get them followers up. Gotta get them followers up.
At least you don't name every
we're
single
expansive.
social media platform like
We're,
you used
we're
to.
expanding them. You can hit us up on iTunes as well. So,
Yeah, definitely leave
Drop
a
a
review
comment,
on
though.
iTunes.
Yeah.
Yes, rate us.
Please.
Come on, get some ratings in there.
Please hook it up.
If you're just fucking listening, just fucking
Just
do it.
Fucking yeah.
If you got to this point in the episode and you haven't rated us, you're a fucking asshole.
And don't do it tomorrow. Do it today. It's easy, man.
Not right now. You're still sitting there.
It's our ratings and we want it now.
And if you're a true fan, you understand these references that we're doing right now.
Holla.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Cordon blew himself.
Peace.
All right, later.
It's my money, and I need it now!